Good morning, everyone. Welcome along. Welcome to Steelhorse Station. I hope you are all well. It's Tuesday here on the east coast of Australia, Monday evening in the US and Europe. So glad to have you in. Hope your week is good and you're going to hit February with some momentum. So we are heading off to Newlands. And I just realised that I didn't finish the rolling at the end of the last episode. So we're going to head over and do that straight off the bat. So let's just get the right screen over so everyone can see what's happening. Sound looks like it's okay. Looks a bit quiet in today, so I'm guessing somebody else has a stream running, which is fine. We will whoops, didn't want to fold that up. Yeah, g'day Cranky, welcome along. How are you, sir? Hope the week is being good to you. Now, is that rolling properly? I've got to put all of them down. I remember this from last time. So U, that's better. And there we go. So the plan today is just to quickly roll this field, which I meant to do at the end of the last episode, but I got caught up doing other things during the week. I'm very pleased to hear that, Cranky. Thank you for watching and catch up. I continue to enjoy it. It's going to be a bit of a challenge where we've started from. Those fields are big for the equipment that we've got, but okay, that looks like we're let's just finish you. You didn't quite finish by the looks. You were on the last headland. Okay, so let us put you down. No, you were down. Turn you on. That's better. Hopefully now with the oaks I'm on a stable release and I don't have to go and switch everything over again. It's not a major drama, it's just time consuming trying to get vaguely back to the situation we were in. And let's do it this way. Let's turn around here and put that down there. But I think it was achieved with the minimum of fuss. And where did you stop again? You are not behaving. Tangling myself up, I think. There we go. Yeah, the modded fields didn't turn out to be that much of a problem. It was more just because we've got the little equipment, trying to sort of get back to halfway through the ploughing is just time consuming. I mean, you know, yes, I could have fudged it, but I was kind of going for a pretty straight transition. But never mind, it's all sorted now. Let's just finish this bit over here. And the other thing that I didn't get done was acting on your suggestion, which was to sort the billing rates for my family workers. So I know I've got the helper admin mods, but it doesn't quite do what I'm looking for. And so when I opened it up to try and figure out how to adjust it, it was, well, to say that it confused me would be an understatement. So I've got a little project there to try and learn enough Lua to be able to modify it to do what I'm looking for, which I don't mind because it's kind of interesting, but it's just that takes time and fresh brain, which is not always. Where are we here? We want this one. Let's finish rolling this. With any luck, this shouldn't take too long. These fields aren't too big. Yeah, I could absolutely do that. I wasn't. What I wanted to do was understand a little better how that works, because I, in the context of how I want to do some of the streaming, let's just go all the way around. I think I wanted to. Sometimes I use the regular worker as well. And so I wanted to understand the interaction between the regular worker price and auto drive and course play. So what the effect of my adjustments was. And now I've managed to figure out how to find that out. I've just got to spend a few hours and sit down and actually play with the code to make it do it. But I should have it all sorted for next week. That is the current plan. And it became quite clear in last night's stream, we definitely need a large tractor. Which is going to be fairly early on the priority list. Just hope something comes up in the sales. Farmer Ed Gaming, welcome along. Hope your Monday was as successful as you hoped when you popped in and said hi in the last stream. We are just finishing off the rolling on these fields that we seeded in the last stream. So the plan is to roll the day over into October shortly, which will probably mean it'll be time for sugar beet harvesting, if I'm not mistaken. We'll just That was interesting. If you turn too sharp, it kicks up one of the rollers. Not a great surprise, I suppose. An idea for, I'm interested in feedback. I know there's only a couple of it you hear at the moment, but nonetheless, I noticed that Production Revamp has had an update. I've never used it extensively, and I did put it on here originally, and I had a plan to use it on here, but it had a mod conflict. I'm contemplating giving it another go, and wondering perhaps if we spend Friday's stream looking at it a bit more deeply. What do people think about that as a concept? Is it something people are interested in, not interested in? Because it's quite a complicated mod with a fair bit happening, so it would take a bit of looking at, was my thought. This is going fairly well. Yeah, well, I'm quite happy to do that, Cranky. And I figure we've got lots of... We're kind of in a stable operating mode on here, so that was my rationale. It's... I can probably recover from most of the mistakes or problems that I can cause myself, so... And we've got enough productions with the garden centre and everything else to make some of the more interesting features visible. G'day Scooter, welcome along. Great to have you in. That's the other thing we'll have to do is check the animals before we roll the day over. I've got a sneaking suspicion we may need some more pig food. I can't remember if I put some more in or not. We did top up the cows in the last episode, of course. Oh, that's always good. I would imagine it's quite satisfying when you've had someone from pretty much scratch and they pass. Let's swing around this way. I had to teach, well, I didn't have to, but I taught both my kids to drive. The process here in Melbourne's moderately involved. Yes. I still remember my driving instructor. It's kind of a big event in a young person's life if you're interested in driving. My kids, well, here in Melbourne, in order to get at 17, I think it's 17, 16 and 3/4 maybe, you can get your learner's permit, which involves a written test, but that gives you the ability to drive with a licensed driver in the passenger seat, which is not too difficult around the world. But then in order to go for your tests, your proper driving tests, when you turn 18, you need a logbook with 120 hours of supervised driving. So it actually works out really well, and it means, you know, on the basis that you do it properly, which a reasonable number of people do, we certainly took it seriously. That means by the time they actually go for their test, they've had quite a lot of driving experience, and the logbook's pretty well done. The front section of it takes you as a beginner through, well, here's a bunch of experiences that'd be a really good idea if you're learner had, and this is the sequence that it might be a good idea to contemplate introducing them to those experiences, you know. So don't take them for night fog driving in the rain on their first trip out, sort of thing. So it was a really a good experience. The other thing, my daughter's school had a road safety thing when she was in her second last year, which, you know, the idea was you take your daughter along to it, and they had presentations from the roads authority and a whole bunch of things, but it was all set up for, hey, this is, you know, a big deal. Here are the stats. Don't be alarmed by it, but, you know, take the time to teach the kids properly. And they had some really fun ways of presenting the material and helping you understand how to approach teaching your kids to drive, not as a substitute for a professional teacher. Both our kids went and had a couple of lessons before, but given you've got to have a 120-hour logbook, you're not going to do all of those with a professional driving instructor. You'd be printing money, Ed. Okay, what happened there? Why did that? That's interesting. That roller just lifted off the ground for its own reasons. But we're getting there. Let's try not leave a stripe down the middle of the field. I still remember my own driving experiences. Dad decided he wanted to go somewhere in the afternoon. It was a Sunday afternoon. He thought it'd be a good idea if I drove. I'd never driven before. I was 17 and a bit. So he took me up the local car park. We did 2 laps and off we went. And those were the days when on a Sunday afternoon the local shops were shut, so you could drive around unattended, but it was a manual 3 on the tree. So that was baptism of fire. No synchro on first, so you had to stop to get it into first. Just to dread the hill starts. Or slow, having to stop unexpectedly on the hill. So what's everybody up to? We're a year's racing past already, so January's just about done and dusted. February's a short month, so big plans. Europeans and Europeans, you'll be Europeans and Americans, you'll be in summer before you know it. You see, I don't miss that part of my job. At the height of my job, I was getting hundreds of emails a day, Scooter, so I don't miss all that email. When I hit the tree, yes. Has he got plans to go into the Air Force, Ed, or is this just a hobby at this stage? Now, where are we? 25,000. So when we roll a day, we should get enough money, I think, to go pretty close to buying that field over in front of us, which is the plan. And we can cut that out so that's ready to put corn on. Corn and oats are the two crops we require. Ah, cool. Yes, I got well down the process of joining the Australian Air Force. I sort of fell in a big way for the Tom Cruise school of why wouldn't you want to be a fighter pilot? Although I did, I was getting some reasonable advice and sort of made the decision to get my degree beforehand. Why did you just stop? What happened there? That is the oddest bug I have seen. As it turns out, I don't think I would have passed some of the more intricate steps of the process, so it didn't become a huge deal, and I got distracted with the technology side of things. But it did pique the imagination there for a little while. So are you guys going to give the logging league a go? I watched FSG and Argsy with Kermit the other day. G'day, Hodge One. Welcome in. Good to see you. They seemed to have a bit of fun with Kermit the other day, and it was pretty cool to see them pick up their a little bit of sponsorship from Thrustmaster, so that's quite a cool development. UMRV. Okay, I'll have to plead ignorance. Ed, I don't know what UMRV is. I figured it was a map. I'm guessing it's existed before. Upper Mississippi River Valley. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay, so it's well known to the community that aren't newbies. Mark Haythorne, Wade, welcome in. Great to have you along. Hey, Tanner, good to see you. And so that Upper Mississippi map, is that one that FSG really liked from 19? Am I thinking of the right one? Okay, thank you. Well, I haven't seen it. It would be totally new ground for me. Oh, I'm not even sure that I've seen the map tour. Maybe I missed that. It's done it again. That is bizarre. So, yep. They popped up and now they pop down. I didn't have that the first time I used them. It's almost like there's a glitch in the hydraulics and you sort of turn and they get, two of the rollers get stuck up. We'll have to see how I go. I can't. I was actually thinking last night, I think I'm at my limit in terms of being able to manage sanity and multiple maps, given that I've got 4 going at the moment. 2 for video series, being Griffin and Silver Run, and 2 for streaming, being here in the Oaks. So I don't see a space to add another one in at the minute. Oh, that'll be great, Ed. Quieten down that tradesman man. I certainly plan over the next couple of streams on the Oaks to be making more use. See, it did it again. Just popped up and stopped ploughing. Very odd. I'll have to have a look at it and see. The only logical place for it to fit for me at the moment would be if Silver Run came to a natural conclusion, which is a possibility. But I also don't feel the need to do something on a map where all the big guys are running as well, because I would have to have an idea to run with to make it interesting, and at the moment I've got plenty of scope to run my ideas out on the maps we're working. So we might just go with those and let the big guys do their thing. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Scooter, is, you know, being a tiny part of the noise around it, I don't think is necessarily interesting. And so being a little bit different feels more my cup of tea. You know, it's a bit like, you know, I wasn't able to jump into Silver Run as early as the folks that are Giants partners did, but when I did, I decided to farm it more than log it. And I've really enjoyed that niche. Jake retires to boat building. Yeah, there's lots of scope for Jake. I was really pleased with how the sugar beet worked out. And when you extend that concept, there's heaps of land that you could cultivate and put sugar beet in. We need a bit more industry to use the sugar beet, because it, you know, $200 a 1,000 litres, it's hard to make money. Henrik Galsman, welcome along. Glad to have you in. Hope you are well. We are just finishing off rolling these fields before we check the animals and move on to October. I mean, Jake hasn't even had time to organise the horse he was going to get for Paige, so that gives you an idea how busy he's been. He might find an investor, you never know. Well, in the background, Buff seems to be able to put a few deals together. He's managed to attract that BGA to the map, and they've got it constructed in the new sawmill. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. There's plenty of land up at the old sawmill that's very poorly utilised, so if I could just figure out how to make some of those log piles disappear. I've got some ideas, but I need to be able to well, a modicum of mastery riding lure, I think, because I need to be able to interrogate the data in order to get some information about those objects and make them disappear. Why has that? What is wrong with that right hand? That's very odd. No, now the other one's popped up. Very strange. And if I make progress with the helper mod that I'm playing with for the Oaks, you never know, it might find its way onto Silver Run, so that he can Jake can get a little bit more regular assistance from some of the more senior members of the riding school. Who knows? Lots of scope there. I did not have that issue. It's almost like I'm getting phantom button presses that are... You see, there's nothing that says they're raised. If I set to the tractor, maybe that'll stop it doing it. Whoops. It really is like there's a... I'm getting a dodgy pressure spike in a hydraulic line that keeps pushing up those... one of those sets of rollers. Very weird. Okay, we've almost got to the end of this, and so we can go and check on some animals. Pretty sure the cows should be okay. And I'm pretty confident about the sheep, so... It's done it again. It's the sort of thing where I'd say if it was a... See you, Ed. Thank you for dropping in. If it wasn't... well, maybe it is a maintenance issue, but the frame itself is actually brand new, so... And the rollers have only done one field previously. We'll have to see. Other than being visually annoying, I mean, it's a very small impact on the field. Right. Let's do that little squirt there. And then we'll be good. We're going to roll over the day pretty quick. It's not like that we're going to drive past these funny looking textures in the field very many times. I must put that canola in too. That's in the bin over there. Now we'll control V, lift it all. Did it lift at all? Looks like it might not have. There we go. Oh. That's better. Right. Job done. Let's pop you about there. Ah, what I want. So let's have a look at animals. Animals. Our cows have plenty of straw and plenty of food. Well, plenty of base food. Bit light on roughage. What did we decide power food was? You thought it was Mazovia, Ravi. No, this is Newlands. This is Newlands. You've been here several times before. You knew that. I have used a few Polish bits and pieces. Now, power food for cows. Let's have a look. Whoops. Power food for cows. Mineral feed. Oh, we can give them a little bit of canola. That'll work. Yes, we can give them a little bit of canola. Not that they'll need much. So that's a good excuse to go and get the canola off that other field. Which means we require a hook lift dolly. It should be up here, I think. Unimog. Maybe. Where is the hook lift dolly? It is not round there. Oh, there it is. And how are you today, Ravi? Let's jump you off. Oh. Feeling very omnipotent. It's the best I could do for a god joke at short notice. It's excellent to hear. I'll just whiz around. I wonder where the other hook lift. It must have the other bin on it. Maybe it's in the yard back there and I just wasn't paying attention. Hook you on. No, you're not. There we go. 16,000 litres. Well, I suspect we only need a little bit. Maybe 1,000 or 2 will do for the cows. So hopefully we can drop that in front loader bucket, which will also make it easier to feed to them, I think. They don't know. Right, now we need to pull you out of the way. Try hooking on first. No. My side panel has gone to God. So goodness knows what happened to it. Am I going to get a pile on the floor? Yes. Is the answer to the question. Well, that's not too bad. We got about the amount we wanted out anyway, so let's see. Let's see what that does to the settings. Oops. Try the right menu. Cows. Okay, so they've got a little bit of that. They've got a little bit of roughage and they've got heaps of base food. So they're certainly not going to starve. What was the moisture food? Moisture food. Oh, we can go and get them some sugar beet. That would be the easiest way to do that, wouldn't it? Okay. Sugar beet. Scoop of sugar beet it is. And then we'll know they're good to go. Actually, let's do something else and grab just a fraction more sugar beet. Perfect. That's quick and easy. It's a good size. A little bit more convenient than a bucket. And I should still be able to back in the doorway, I think. Very versatile, these little unimogs. Is that full? It is. Okay. So, how do we want to do this? That was the only bit I didn't anticipate. They need to, well, that's actually, that's all right. We can leave that there for the minute. Let's have a look at the pigs. As I suspected, we need more pig food. So, the canola is protein food for the pigs. We're going to need to buy some. So, let us run across. and buy some pig food. You can head across and do that. Dispatch you to vehicle buy sell. Oh, you're going to go the other way, of course. While you're doing that, we'll go and tip some canola in. Get this done a little quicker. Pig looks very funny perched there. That was bizarre. No. It is awkward, isn't it? Never mind. I'll solve it because I've got to come over here with the front end loader anyway. We can stay parked on the tracks here. Let's just duck across the road here. You're ready to go. You're ready to go. Next game day. Oh. Let's pop you back. Excellent. They're good. They're good. Did I maybe give back the I might have given back the hook loader and the other container we had because they were annoying. What's it? Like, what's that over there? It's the beehives, right? Okay, let's go and buy this. Big bags of pig food. The Dico pig food. Buy those. And buy those. I can't remember if it was in the last stream or just after it, but that bunker silo roller came up in the sale, so I decided we were definitely going to need that. Oops. Hopefully I can strap those on. Looks good. Which way is that? On the other side. Oh, I don't have a 3-point on the front. There's no point in running around there like that. Back to the pigs we go. At least we know where we can always get some grass if we need to. That was one of the things that I noticed on the oaks. The farms in Briscoe's put a heap of extra textures in, which is terrific. Although I'm still amazed that I managed to find ones used in as the floor of buildings and things that aren't in the list, which you only see when you go and you try and blend concretes together. But in whatever change she's done to get multi-angle and the fields sorted out, the grass texture has changed. So in some places he's got areas that, well, like the area next to the church that I've turned into the church meadow, where if you cut that grass now, it works as grass, but if you put something down and you want to just tidy it up, that particular grass isn't in the texture for meadow grass, so you end up with a completely different grass, which looks a bit odd. So it was just an interesting discovery yesterday. Now, are you emptying out of there? You are. Drive over the canola that's on the floor. Now we're going here. Plenty of room. That was funny. So I did actually manage to get, oh, maybe it already had some protein in it, and it's just energy food we're short on. I'm sure those steering wheels think they're helping all the time, but they're not necessarily. Come on, get rid of those. Oops, forwards, baby, forwards. Good. Zip over there. Down. Got a smidge down there. Back up, back up, back up, back up. Right. Now, where is that trigger? It's there. I was close. And you were right, Cranky. It is awkward. So, there's enough pig food to be going on. What energy food is... Which one? Is that the pulp? Or is that the moist? No, the... Yeah, energy food's the beet pulp. Which is just this one here. the right. Okay. Animals fed. What? That's a delicate balance. Sneeze and you tip it over. That's enough in each. Oh, there's no straw there. I thought I put straw in the other day. Yeah, strange. Okay. A straw doesn't affect their health though, does it? Just the production of manure. So if we roll over without filling the straw up, that's not the end of the world. I think we'll do that. Goodo. It doesn't appear to be affecting their health, so we will muck the next day. So I want to go to, just check that. Plenty for the sheepers. So up to the house. Let's roll forward. Ever onward. And you can see there, so our loan's costing us 2.5. The vehicles we've still got leased at 3.5, and various bits of property and stuff for another 2.5. That's a little bit darker than I intended. Let's just run time forward until the sun comes up a fraction. That's better. So, first cab off the rank. Let's send trees to be sold. FM tree sell. You can go and trundle away. How am I stuck there? Something is really messing with my mouse control. That was odd. Don't need that, don't need that. Let's fold you up. Get you off there. Go go and put some straw in there. Oh, there is straw in there. So I obviously left some there in order to remind myself, and then promptly didn't actually put it in the pig pen. How much does that give us? The reason I didn't go and fill it up first was I wanted a sense of, yes, that'll keep it going for a bit. Boy, do these pigs eat fast. Let's have a look. Well, it looks like we got some more piglets. A heap of them. That's why. So we're now officially overstocked. So we obviously bred again in the rollover because we picked up 180 new piglets. So what are we going to do here? We obviously need to sell some. How many total have we got? Yeah, 347. So we're officially overstocked for the first time. We need to get rid of 150 pigs. So let's get this out of the way. So I'm guessing we need to take the effect of being at lower health is biggest on the youngest, is biggest financially on the older pigs. So we're better off selling the new ones down in order to get to a point where we can recover the costs, recover the health of the older ones and then sell those down. So this is where having a second sty would potentially be useful. Now we do have a trailer, so we can put a bunch in there. I don't know how much that will help. I also don't know. It'll be interesting. There'll be a couple of little experiments here. So, because I've never been in the overstocking situation before. Now back in the money. It'll be interesting to see whether reducing the stocking levels instantly recovers the price. Get round, get round, get round, get round. Come on, tip back. So these are the ones we got heaps of because they're the new piglets. So let's take 20 of those out. That's all I can put in. Okay, well, we're off to market with 20 by the looks. I don't know if I've got a course up here to sell these. We could probably look at that. Have I got auto drive? What happens up here? So let's just fix this course while we're here. So we want you to go and turn up there. You back to there. That'll do it. Now we stand a chance of being able to drive up here, and we will just put a stop at the animal dealer. I don't think I'll be able to tell auto drive to automatically unload an animal vehicle. I certainly wouldn't want it to auto load at my pen because it wouldn't necessarily grab the right age. What did I do here? So there are two out courses. So let's is that an in course? Actually, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We want to take a leaf out of the Ed the Expert playbook and put the tractor there and turn on record so we get a button and then go like so, and then we want to swing out wide because otherwise that light post on the corner will be a real pain. We want to get to about there, then we can connect on like so. It's really interesting that the map makers put these bits of course have obviously been copied out of the actually let's do that out of the splines in the map, because I certainly didn't put them in like this. Oh, very good, Scooter. I did not see that study, I must say. Gives me a good idea, though, of how interested you are in my auto driving. Let's go there and there, like so, and there, like, delete that. Not deleting the waypoint, I think I'm deleting. Which is the... where are we? Left alt is delete. That's the one I want. Okay. Turn those off. Now, take those out of there, select them. So the first part of the test is that won't work, wrong side of the road. Thank you very much for spotting that. So the first part of the test there, though, is that the pigs didn't improve in price taking them out of the pen. Now, what have I done? I have connected onto the wrong side of the road. Very good job. Excellent. So, let's try and put that over to there. And... what have we done here? Whoops. Hit the wrong button. That looks better, doesn't it, guys? Righty ho. Thank you, well spotted chat. So now we should be able to close you down and send you to cow barn. I don't want you to go to Trailer Park Garden Centre if you can. We'll get you before you get there. Meanwhile, turn you off. Go here. And you can wrong one. Head back to Potted Tree Load. Right. Oh, you can probably empty a little bit out of there. Excellent. You can park over here. Actually, what we'll do while we're here, because you need to drive back up there anyway, is just grab a little bit of... You do not take straw. It's interesting. Yes, you do. What happened there? There we go. That other guy's gonna get stuck because somebody parked in his parking space at the garden centre. What we'll do, we'll use this to create the cord. Connect you on. Right. That one. And let's go pig thigh. How much trouble could they get into navigating that corner? Plenty, I reckon. And that one. Over under for driving off the cliff. I'm not sure I understand, Tanner. I'm confident they will drive off the cliff, but if the corner slows them down enough, oh, come on, why do you not want to tip there? Thank you. It's not a phrase I'm familiar with. Never been much of a gambler. Okay, so let's get you out of the way now. And stop you because you're holding up traffic. All this logistics we've got. Could move that other. Tractor and trailer, that wouldn't hurt. Yeah, so there's the other bin that I had. What I must have done is returned the dual axle lift. Because I know it was leased. Just pop you there for the minute. Jody, I am very well, thank you. Welcome along. We're managing a bit of an overstocking problem in our pigsty, so the consequence of a couple of the mods that we're running, the enhanced animal system is, first of all, it means that animals can have litters, so it's not a one-for-one reproduction cycle, but also allows you to create overstocking situations in your animal pens. And so our pigs bred overnight, and as you can see, we've got, or over the month end rollover, and we've now got 327 pigs in our 216 pig facility, the consequence of which is it's lowering the prices of our pigs. So the first thing we need to do is remove some of these piglets and sell them, because there's nothing else we can do with them at the minute. So we're just in the process of sorting that out. So we'll send you now to... I didn't put a label up there in the... What an idiot. Trying to learn how to do cows. Well, that's a bit of fun. Yeah, there's plenty of experience in the chat here on doing cows, no doubt. What you will find, a couple of tips that immediately spring to mind. So the first thing is you can feed cows either hay or... There is somebody at the door, which, just in case the bell didn't work, my dog is wanting to know why I'm not getting up to answer the door. So, sorry about that. So you can feed your cows either hay or TMR. The simplest is hay, and but that'll only feed them to 80. Well, it's only 80% effective, so they eat more of it for less benefit. And they won't produce milk. So if you're doing Angus or Limousin, so beef cattle, hay's just fine. It works great, and it's often the easiest way to start out. Also, if you just put cows in at the calves in at the beginning before they mature, then sell those. Yes. Sorry, I just need to concentrate for a sec. Which one do you want here? We want you to be on that one there. We want to label that animal dealer. Right. Now if we turn around. The other thing you need to make sure of course, is they have water. If it's a pasture that needs you to add water, although most cow pens are plumbed in, so they don't need additional water. But they're the two food items. And yes, it was the wrong way in, Cranky. It doesn't matter for the purpose of labeling it though. That's why I backed up a bit. So now we should be able to drive to the pigsty. Yeah, so if I go to cows, you'll see pasture like this will require you to bring water to it. So there'll be a water point. Whereas a building like these automatically has water. The biggest one, and I wouldn't worry about it unless you're on a map that has it, is there is a robot feeder for doing or for automating the provision of TMR. So TMR is total mixed ration, and you make it with a feed mixer. Whoa. Corner speed. How come your corner speed's up there? And I can show you the standard recipe, even though I think we've explained need a vehicle. Here we go. So this red trailer here is a feed mixer. Why am I? There we go. This is the Maize Plus recipe, and if I hit the correct button and remember, I can try and remember how to change the recipe. One of these buttons. Oh, it's because it's got something in it. I can't change it. It's got 3 liters in it. Okay, this recipe is much more complicated because it's for Maize Plus. The main thing you... No, so Maize Plus adds a couple of extra recipes, and the reason I can't change it is because there's 3 liters of that's in there. You can't change it after it's got fill in it. I'll come back and do that in a minute. So that's a part of Maize Plus, is the short answer. But Jody, the TMR you'll be making has 4 potential components. The main components are silage, which you make from grass, and there's a couple of ways to do that, and hay. You can bulk it out. Yeah, that's right. So that's right, Tanner. So if you don't have Maize Plus, you will get the basic recipe. And the simplest TMR recipe is just an equal mix of hay and silage. Alright, so we're coming down. We still haven't improved anything. Let's get rid of some landrace. And now we should be able to send you direct to the animal dealer. Oops, don't want to do that. I need an outline. So if you go into your cows, I've got 4 components here. Your cows, regular cows, will have TMR, hay, and grass. The first thing you do with cows in the game, well, the first thing I do, in fact, before I get cows, I make a decision about how I'm going to feed them and organize some feed, because one way or another, you're either making some hay or you're getting the components to make TMR. I'll show you that in just a second, Tanner. And Cranky's absolutely correct. So TMR, the simplest way to make TMR is with just silage and hay. But because silage and hay are potentially expensive and time consuming to produce, you can bulk it out a little with straw. And if you're wanting some realism, you would also add mineral feed, but quite frankly, mineral feed doesn't actually do anything. And that's all described over here in animals, cows. Okay, total mixed ration is the best food for cows and will maximize milk production. And if you go to total mixed ration, it tells you what the ingredients are. It talks about the feeding robot and the mixer wagon, and the fact that you need a ratio. It says that, Cranky, but the short answer is I don't believe it, because if you, there's no tag. If I've got two trailers full of TMR, one made with mineral feed and one made without, the game has no way of knowing which one has the mineral feed in it. And so it seems to me it should, but it doesn't, because there's no tag attached to the TMR which tells it whether it's been mixed with mineral feed or not, that I can see. Now, to be fair, I haven't extensively tested it. Let's get this out of here and select those and sell those and send you back. What are you stuck on? That was bizarre. Some very odd things happening today. Go back to the pigsty. Let's go and answer Tanner's question. And the fastest way to do this, it's got 3 litres of straw in there. Okay, so let's empty. Okay, that's now empty. So now I should be able to, if I can remember what the keystroke is. There is a hotkey to change the menu, Tanner, and that's what I'm looking for. Platinum, Kubota. Maize Plus. Mixer display status Y. You can also change the radius. So if I go to Y, I've turned it off. Why is it not giving me the other menus? Maybe I've got to be connected to it. Well, that would suggest to me that it's bugged, because when I first, so I'd guess that there's a mod conflict, because when I first got it, that button enabled me to scroll through the menus. There we go. So you've got to be connected to it. So as you can see, so that's the standard menu. And Jody, that's the one you'll have. So you can put hay and silage and straw. And as Cranky was saying, mineral feed. And you only need a really small amount of mineral feed. And what this menu will show you is when you've got the elements in the right proportions. But simply what I was saying is if you go half and half hay and silage, that will be correct, and then you can come back off that. And that's, so you play with this mix based on the materials that you've got. And Cranky's put a video in which probably shows how to do it. There's heaps of guys that have done good YouTube videos. Mr. Sealy P, I don't know which one Cranky's referenced there, but they were all pretty good. Oh, okay. Cool. As I said, I'm just going on. I don't know how the game I don't know how the game can tell once it's mixed. So anyway, I will be intrigued to look at that video. I'll come and search that out later. So that's the formulas. The other thing to watch, Jody, is bales are different sizes, which, so when you're making it from bales, by putting your bale in, depending on what the bale is of, well, g'day, Jason. It must do, but I don't know how, because as I say, if I pour it out on the ground, how does it know? How does it know one batch of silage from another? And if I mix them together, is it with or without? So anyway, what I was saying is, so this is a a bale of straw. That one's 5,000 litres. If we come over here, I've got a bale of something kicking around here somewhere. There it is. A bale of grass. So that one's 3,000 litres. So you've just got to keep an eye on when you're making your first mix, what size, if you're using bales to put into your mixer, yeah, and I'm happy to go with you on it, Cranky. I haven't done any testing myself. The only, as I said, the only bit I was going on was I just didn't understand how the game can tell the difference. But that's cool. If it's different, that's finally there's a good reason to put mineral feed in. So what was I about to say? Oh yes, so the way most people seem to go about it, Jody, is they look at the capacity of their mixing wagon and then they look at the bales that they have, if they're using bales, and they come up with a formula that gives them the right mix. And then they just use the same combination all the time. I do it both ways, but similar sort of idea. I usually have one component, it's often silage, that I put in first at a known capacity. I add enough hay to get it into the green, and then I just pad it out with straw. That's generally the way it goes. So Bruce Solar, good to see you. And one of the things we can do, Cranky, if it would be interesting to people, is I'll have a look at those vids, but we can replicate those experiments on here to see what we learn. Because it'd be interesting to know if Maize Plus also makes a difference. Now, let's get just back to our pigs, because they're eating us out of house and home while they're overstocked. And it means we haven't got to the sugar beet, but we'll have to do that. Yes, I think everybody's done that, Jason. But the main point I was making there before, when you asked what came first, Jody, was I found it a little easier if you get prepared first. So you get hold of some straw bales, get hold of some silage bales, and get hold of some grass bales. However you do those, and then buy a small number of cows and begin, and just experiment, see what happens. Now we're getting the numbers down, albeit slowly. Right, so you can go back to the animal dealer. You can fill up with trees. you got there? Bamboo, the aloe's going in. Pretty sure the bamboo crate is around the corner. Yeah, I don't know anything about balers in real life, Jason. I don't have a point of view. Now, what was I going to look here? How much? We got a little bit of manure there. And so then with your cows, Jody, the only thing we haven't talked about is manure. Let's go down to the cow pen. It's easier to see. So if you've got your pen, your food will have a food trigger and go in. And when they're producing milk, it'll have a milk trigger where you pick up. You will also have to, if you want manure, which we have here, you'll have to put down a manure silo. And it needs to be within range of the cow pen. And the only tricky bit is there's no cues on what's in range, so it can be a little bit trial and error if you can't get it close by, but generally sort of 20 to 25 meters is generally the range. Yes, it would be very helpful if there was some sort of circle when you were placing it, but no dice. And so then you've got to put straw into the straw trigger and you'll start to get manure. You'll get a view whether that's working fairly quickly. So within a few minutes, you'll either know it's connected or it isn't. And then you don't need to bother about it as long as you keep the straw up. So if we go and have a look. The straw volume will reduce as they produce manure. Right, now we should... how did I do that? I'm sure I sent you... How did you do that? Oh dear. Right. Okay. Turn that off. Turn that off. It looks like that was fiddlier than I was anticipating. I wasn't expecting to get quite so many. I was expecting to overstock, just not get so many. I'm tipping that they're still growing, so that's not ready to harvest, but our corn looks like it is. So we'll do our corn harvest on Friday. Yep. Because we need the corn so that we can stop buying pig food. So we'll do that on Friday. Thursday evening for most folks that are watching. In the meantime, I will tidy up the pig situation. And so we'll sell a few more down to get us back into a regular stocking. We're going to breed again Okay, so we've got a couple of months until we breed again, so there'll be enough time to sell some of the more valuable ones when they recover their health. The sheep. I've got a couple of months, but we did just get 9 more sheep, so they should be producing a reasonable amount of wool. And the cows are producing a reasonable amount of milk now, and we'll have to get some mineral feed because that's clearly required to maximize our milk production. But that's where we might leave it for today. Thank you very much for popping in, everybody, and thanks for your inputs, correcting me when I make errors. Thanks for those couple of video references, Cranky. So they're just up a little bit in the chat if you're interested in the revelations about animal feed and what it does to milk production. That sounds like they're worth a good go. And hope everybody has a good week, and I'll see you on Thursday evening for UK and Europe, Friday morning for Aussies. Catch you next time. See ya.